Well, afternoon, gang. Hope you're all well and having a good day. I just want to do a video today about something that I've become very, very fond of over the last couple of years for lots of reasons. And it's going to land differently with everyone, but hopefully the next 5 minutes, my own personal view and experience can shine some light in it for you. So, RIC SIMPSON oil, better known cannabis oil, is something that I've personally been using. I've had a relationship with for about 30 years, but I've been using the oil which is derived from the cannabis plant now personally pretty consistently for the last maybe 4 years. It came back into my life doing a lot of research and studying on it and bringing it back into my wife's schedule while she's undergoing a battle with cancer, and I also put it into my own schedule. So let's just go into a bit of history about RIC SIMPSON oil, cannabis oil. It's the most discriminated, understood plant on the planet, okay? It's had 100 years of discrimination. It's medical, it's plant medicine at its best. They call it a plant teacher. And what gets me with this plant is the lack of knowledge and understanding that people have, and they run with stories. They run with the most ridiculous stories that they once knew a guy who fell off the wagon via cannabis. Now, is there a chance that guy was taking pharmaceutical drugs, drinking alcohol, had experienced trauma and pain in his life and was off the wagon? They happened to walk past him and smell cannabis, and that took the blame, yeah? Cannabis is a plant. Food gets abused, cannabis gets abused, alcohol gets abused, everything gets abused by people who don't understand things who are reckless with their actions. But let me just go into the speciality of RIC SIMPSON oil. Pain, sleep, appetite, inflammation, the list is long and it's illustrious. So for argument's sake, in the world of cancer, if you were using RIC SIMPSON oil, where it specializes in pain, sleep and appetite, well, the substitutions for them medically are opioids, steroids, and sleeping tablets. Now, surely it's worth trying a plant first, okay? Surely that could be your first point of call, and who knows where you end up after that. But when it comes to plants, where the dangers are nearly ground zero, and the medical world will push the dangers on you, and they'll tell you, they'll run with their own propaganda on it. But we are talking about plants here, and I've been using it for 4 years pretty consistently, not far off daily. Do I look like a junkie? Do I look like someone who's abusing drugs? No, because I understand the plant, I understand how to use the plant, like I understand food and I understand how to use food, okay? So for me personally, when it came into my life, I do a lot of fitness work, so I have a lot of aches and pains. So it's been absolutely fundamental in my recovery and repair. I'm probably in the shape of my life at the moment. I will put RIC SIMPSON oil as a big part of that deal. I've never been a good sleeper, and when I started incorporating RIC SIMPSON oil into my sleeping schedule, it was a game changer for me. Complete game changer. I use it a few days a week. I know how to use it, and I know when to time it, and it really is 2 books I would highly recommend you read, guys, okay? So if you're going to go into a debate with someone about RIC SIMPSON oil, cannabis oil, go in with knowledge, because it pisses me off when people have a debate with me and they know nearly ground zero about this plant. The holistic healing guide to cannabis. This is one of the best books I've ever read to cannabis. Talks about the endocannabinoid system, CB1, CB2 receptors, goes into all the different conditions, and actually says the good, the bad, the ugly, because it's not perfect, nothing's perfect. So there will be times where cannabis won't be the right option, okay? And also the endocannabinoid system. Them 2 books will completely educate you on the RIC SIMPSON oil. If you're going to have debates with people and arguments with people and share things on Instagram, make sure you're knowledge, make sure you're up to date. I see people sharing stuff all the time or having opinions and things that they know nothing about. At least go out and do a bit of reading and then come to the table with some knowledge. If someone reads these 2 books that really understands and wants to debate with me and still isn't a fan of RIC SIMPSON oil, that's fine. That's fine. I guarantee if they read these 2 books, they wouldn't want to debate about RIC SIMPSON oil. So yeah, it's a wonderful plant. I would highly recommend, if you have serious conditions going on like cancer, epilepsy, maybe some motor neuron sort of stuff, arthritic conditions, highly research it. Or if you're like me, you're into sports, you do a lot of sports, and your joints and everything have had a back drain, your muscles, perhaps your sleep is up and down because you work early hours, late nights, and your shifts are all over the shop. Again, look into the plant. It's a wonderful plant. It's completely changed my life. I believe it's been a big tool in my wife's journey, and yeah, it's something that's going to be a part of my life for the rest of my days without a shadow of doubt. But like I said, I'm passionate about it. This will land differently. I've had many a debate in here with people. Lots of the time, they're coming from a place of complete grooming, where they've been groomed and propaganda-based and lack of knowledge. Very often, I switch their opinion by educating them. Sometimes people don't want to listen, especially if they come from the medical world, where they believe every solution is in a pill, which is not. Very little, there's a fact out there that there's not a pharmaceutical drug on the planet that cures the condition you take it for. It manages symptoms, often causes more problems than it solves. So I always say, start with plants first. If you can't find the answer in nature and nutrition, and then move on to the next phase. But plants are the way forward, okay, guys? And start with these 2 books. Honestly, they will really severely educate you. I'm very passionate about the plant. All my clients will tell you I'm very, very passionate about it. As I said, it's been a game changer in my life. So hopefully this little chat will help you. You're looking at someone who's been using RIC SIMPSON oil for a long period of time. I'm assuming you look at me differently to what you look at someone who you smell smoking weed on a seafront. Now, we are changing, around the world. They're using it in the world of medicine and recreational and sports, all over the world. UK, as always, are slow off the mark and are absolutely pathetic with stuff like this. So we will get you, we are getting you, and we are going to land on. So if I was you guys, if you have problems going on in your life, varied problems from aches and pains to sport up to cancer, please, 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 start by reading these books, guys. Make your own opinion. Get your own line of knowledge. Because like I said, and use that philosophy of anything on social media. If you're going to have an opinion on a debate on someone, by all means, please do your research. Don't just share other people's stuff. That's pathetically weak. And that's because you don't want to spend the time reading these books. There's not a day go by I'm not reading 30, 40, 50, 60 pages of a book because I want to learn about something. If I'm going to share something on Instagram, I guarantee I know about it and I've read about it. So if someone comes back at me with a question, I'm pretty decently educated on that subject, okay? So hopefully that helps. These are the books. Discovering the Endocannabinoid System by Sean D. Jeffries, and The Holistic Healing Guide to Cannabis by Tammy Sweet. Highly, highly recommend these books to understand RIC SIMPSON oil, cannabis oil, better know to you guys. Have a fantastic day, and as I always say, give it some gun, bob and weave, never miss a trick.